This is the fourth video in our Back to Basics sequence. It's for those graded 5th, 4th Qs and transitioning to senior grades of 3rd Q and above. If you've not watched the previous 3 videos in the series, please recommend that you do, just to kind of understand some of the basic concepts of showman body straight position and hand my body turned. So get used to being able to move the hips forward and back without the knee collapsing and without pulling away from a target. This video will look at doing combinations that are slightly longer than some of the others. Particularly at this grade or at this level, you should be able to adapt and be able to actually respond to whatever sensei or an opponent might demand of you. So straight in, remember we did one combination of individual combinations on the novice video, then two technique combinations on the kind of the beginners, and then we moved to 3 on the intermediate. This will concentrate on possibly 4 or 5, and then with a couple of kicks added in, perhaps techniques that we've not adopted or used so far. So just follow along, be prepared to go back, watch the lower videos, watch this one several times, and pick out the mistakes I'm making as well. Okay, so anyway, just from there, just to start from yoi position. Okay, and from there, stepping forward gidambarai. Okay, if we just adopt the same principle that we've not got much space at home, some of us, so we might have to kind of move forward and back and forward, depending on what we're doing. We'll start with an agi-uki combination, but because it's a block, what we'll do, we'll come forward, step back and block agi-uki. As we've done previously, uriken and gyakuzuki, but to add a 4th technique, now also gidambarai. Because I finished the right way round, or the same leg, same arm, there's no need to swap when we do this step. So from there, we'd merely prepare, block, strike and punch, and block again. And if you notice, when I move the hips, so the hips are still forward, twist at the end. Keep the hips back, pointing the elbows, striking in with uriken. Straighten the body up with gyakuzuki. And then on the preparation, keep the body square and twist the body with the block. And the timing, as we probably anticipated, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We can do 4 techniques, but end up in a gyaku position. So in this instance, forward, block and punch, no uriken, and block and punch again. So agi-uki gyakuzuki and gidambarai gyakuzuki. Different timing, but still 4 techniques. So this time, because we're in gyaku, we'd have to swap, block and punch again. So again, swap, block and punch again. And getting this double hip movement. So again, hips forward, hips back, hip forward, hip back, hip forward. So a couple more times. And again. And back. So that's 4 techniques. I think we could swap the agi-uki for an uchi-uki, which I'll do in a moment. But imagine developing that and moving on to 5 techniques. So again, step forward from yoi to gidambarai, and from there, agi-uki. Again, uriken and gyakuzuki, and now gidambarai gyakuzuki. Because we're in gyaku, we have to swap. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time. 4, 5. Remembering, the more techniques we do, feels like you've got a rush, don't. Still put that timing in. Still keep the body long. So sideways on that last one in particular, we might see this. We might start here, end up here, instead of pushing in. And then we just do Gidambarai and Gyakuzuki here. Try still to maintain that form of rotating the body. Shomen, or Hanmai into Shomen, Hanmai into Shomen position. Okay, so that fast rotation, okay, it adds much more weight and momentum to the blocks, but also consequently to the punch. For Agiyuki, as just said, we could substitute that for Uchijuki on virtually all of those combinations. So a step forward, Gidambarai again, forward and back, Uchijuki. Instead of Uriken, Kizamazuki, Gyakuzuki, and Gidambarai. So again, that's the 4 techniques, like we did on the first combination in this video, but swapping Agiyuki for Uchijuki. So again, no swap, Uchijuki, Kizamazuki, Gyakuzuki, Gidambarai. And one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, 4 techniques, Uchijuki start, but this time with a swap afterwards. Okay, so Uchi Gyak, Gidambarai Gyak. Done. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and again, swap. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then finally the 5th or 5 combinations, so techniques in one combination. Swap Uchi, Kizami Gyak, and Gidambarai Gyak. Again, swapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, either 4 or 5 techniques. Remember, if you finish here, no need to swap. If you finish in Gyaku, you will need to swap. Sochijuki is slightly different. Timing's different, but again, either 4 or 5 techniques. So start Gidambarai, forward and back, Sochijuki, across to Empuchi, keeping the head forward, striking Gyakuzuki, and finish Gidambarai. No need to swap. Finish the same arm, same leg. So forward and back, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 separate techniques, no kind of 1-2 timing. So watch again. And again, be conscious of one where the hips twist, but also where we move the back foot. Kibidachi, both feet facing you, as I step back across, twisting the back foot and the hip in, and the preparation. The hips don't move on the preparation, but with the block. Okay, so that's 4 techniques. We could do 4, but end up in Gyaku. So again, starting Gidambarai. Forward and back, Sochijuki, Empichi, Uriken, Gyakuzuki. We're now in Gyaku position, so we have to swap. Sochijuki, Empichi, Urakenuchi, Gyakuzuki. Okay, so sideways on, again, the same. Sochijuki, across to Empichi, Uraken and Gyakuzuki. Have to swap. Forward and back, Sochijuki, Empichi, twisting the back foot and the hips in. And of course, adding both of those together comes to 5 techniques. So Sochijuki, so kind of speed and conscious of time. Empichi, Urakenichi, Gyakuzuki, and Gidambarai. So that kind of combines the 2 together. Okay, so watch that one again. Sideways on. Sochijuki, Zenkutsudachi, good Hikite. Hikite doesn't move. Into Kibidachi, big Empichi. Stepping back across, Uriken, Gyakuzuki. That's kind of 3-4 together. And then Gidambarai. So forward and back, Sochijuki, Empichi, Uriken, Gyakuzuki, and Gidambarai. And one last time, Sochijuki, Empichi, Urakenuchi, Gyakuzuki, and Gidambarai. Okay, so that's the 4 or 5 combinations, techniques on a combination. Agi-uki, uchi-juki, and then soti-juki. With kicking and punching, similarly, we've done Maegeri double punch so far. Maegeri renzuki, I'll show you sideways on. Step 4, Gidanbrai. There's a little bit more space here, perhaps. But if you haven't got space, and because we're attacking, instead of going forward and back, I go back and forward. So that was Maegeri double punch. We finish in Gyaku, back, kick, double punch. So that's 3 techniques. Where we now move to 4 techniques, Maegeri Sanbonzuki is perhaps the first one that a lot of us start to do. So starting Gidanbrai, because we're going to kick, I prefer to go back, make the room, Maegeri Chudan, land Oizuki Jodan, double punch Chudan. So it's back, 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. Trying at all times to keep the body square, not leading, not leaning. And if we're this way, no movement here. It's a good firm core, straight forward, back, and forward. Okay, Maegeri Sanbonzuki. One other technique that we do, it's very good for those transferring to third kyu. Slightly different. The swap, there is no swap, but you punch before you step. So if I start here, and this time not starting in Gidanbrai, but starting Gyakuzuki. We punch with what's the leading hand, Kizamazuki. And you noticed I've not stayed showman, I've turned, pushed the hip from that side of the chest in. Kizamazuki. I then normally, given a lot of distance, be able to step Oizuki Gyakuzuki. But let's pretend we haven't got that space. So we start in Gyakuzuki, we punch Kizamazuki. Then we'd step back and forward because we're attacking back Oizuki Gyakuzuki. So it's Kizamazuki. This effectively does the swap for us. We're starting in a Gyaku position, so we have to do something to get our arms the right way around. Kizamazuki, then back and forward, Oizuki Gyaku. So again, Kizamazuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Kizamazuki, rotate the body, rotate on the Oizuki, square the body back up with Gyakuzuki. And just to add to that technique, to make 4 instead of just 3, Kizamazuki, Maegeri, Oizuki Gyaku. So it's kicking in 3 punches, but not in the same order as the last combination. So again, start in Gyakuzuki, Kizamazuki, come back, keep good hikite, body weight down, Maegeri Chudan, land Oizuki Gyakuzuki. So it's Kizamazuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, Kizamazuki, Maegeri, Oizuki Gyaku. Don't forget the Maegeri. Experience has shown me that sometimes when people in lineups and they start to do this technique, they start to move on Kizamazuki. That then becomes what's known as a Kurazuki. Okay? So nail the feet to the floor, punch, then step. And again, all those little things that come in right from when we're a beginner, novice, we punch, perhaps we don't turn our hips, we should on this technique. And then some people move this foot, or they even pull it back. Okay? Down grades, senior grades, start from Jirach. We might even push the foot in at the same time. Okay? Not at this level. We'll do that in the later videos. Okay? But it's Kizamazuki. Rotate the body. Don't move the foot. Keep this good hikite pull back. We don't want to be punching and stepping like this. Keep this side back. It's hand-my position. All the power from Haza, from the hips, from here, driving this in. So don't give the baby away with the bathwater, as the old expression goes. Don't turn here. Okay, you've lost all that hip twist and that momentum. Okay, So that was Maigeri Sanbonzuki and Kizamazuki Oizuki Gyaku and Kizamazuki Maigeri Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Shutuki, no different. We've currently or previously done Shutuki, knife hand block, front leg kick, Mai Ashigeri, and then landing into Nukite. Imagine now adding a fourth technique, and that technique could be back across to Shutuki, but also this time introducing a new kick that perhaps we've not done yet, Mawashigeri, a roundhouse kick. So start from there, Shutuki, reaching elbow flat on the chest. Be kick with the front leg, Mai Mawashigeri. The knee and the ankle must be the same height, keeping the weight on the back leg. Snap, in Nukite. Hips are now forward, back foot's facing you, but then I've got to take it back across. Shutuki. Okay, so that could be the fourth technique. Forward and back again, let's pretend we've got no space. Forward, back and block. Lift that front knee, snap, thrust, Nukite, spear hand thrust, and then back across. Don't give up on these last techniques. The amount of times in the dojo, even from the first technique we did in the sequence, Agiyuki, Urikendiak, and then Gidambara like an afterthought. All the techniques still done with the same speed, power and intensity. Okay, that could be a final strike. Okay, doesn't have to be uki, it could be uchi. Uchi meaning strike, uki block. So from there, if we try that one again, Shutuki, Mai Mawashigeri Nukite, and then this last technique, instead of stepping back across, could be another strike. Shutuchi, palm down. This time the elbow's nice and high, not on the chest like uki, and striking in. But again, notice the body twist from Shomen to Hanmai position. Okay, so if we try that again, forward and back. Shutuki, Mai Mawashigeri Nukite, Shutuchi. The option would have been from Nukite, as the syllabus tend to predict, we go back to Shutuki. Okay, so options there. 4 techniques, they don't always have to be the same ones. Yep, hint, Shutuchi, another open hand technique, done with the edge of the hand, shuto, never with the fingers. Do it with the fingers, you'll break them. Yep, done that myself, but here, shuto, knife edge of the hand. Okay, now this can be delivered either palm, starting with the palm facing the face, and out. So palm is down, facing the ground. Okay? So we can strike Shutuchi Nukite. Okay? And then back across to Shutuki. The combinations or permutations are almost endless. The alternate is to deliver Shutuchi from this position, pulling the chest back and striking in a slight curve. Not straight, it's not spear, and it's not a slap, which I have seen. Okay? From here, Shomen position, rotating and striking the knife edge, okay, possibly through the carotid artery, okay, to the temple, wherever, okay. But that's palm up, Shutuchi, okay. So pronate, supinate, as a late Sensei Pointer would often say to us, okay. So the options there, again, to add new techniques, okay, to our repertoire, to our kind of library of techniques, becomes much wider than when we get to this grade. So if we start from here, Shutuchi, notice that the body is in this Hanmai position turned. Use the same hand, we'll prepare Shutuchi palm down. So we've started palm up, palm down, then Nukite, look at the hip movement, 45, straight 45, straight. Then back across to the uki block. So we can use that as a nice combination to, one, introduce a new technique, okay, Shutuchi, but also to integrate it into stuff that we already know. Okay, so forward and back, Shutuki. Okay, didn't have to do that, but from there, okay, try that again. So I'm here. Back and forward. Okay? Shute uchi, palm up. From there, prepare. Palm down and nukete. Then across shute uchi. So the first thing we're doing here is a strike. So in this instance, with a limited space, I go back and forward, not forward and back. Back and forward. Strike. And of course I've used the wrong strike. That's palm down. Okay? Confusing, isn't it? Okay? So from there, back and forward, palm up. Then palm down, nukete, shiduki. Again, back and forward, palm up. Palm down and nukete, and across uki. So watch again. So the timing should be 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, I'm back. So one to practice, perhaps something I haven't practiced enough. So I made the mistake, okay? But if you've not made a mistake, you've not made anything, okay? And even when you think you've got it right, do it 100 times. And if any of those have got a mistake in them, you still haven't done it enough. We'll wrap up with 2 techniques, finish with kicking, as we've done on the previous 3 videos. Yokogeri, this time kokomi, but delivered not from kibadachi, horse stance, as we did previously, where we started with kiyagi, but then developed kokomi. So kiyagi snap, kokomi thrust. This time they're delivered from zenkutsudachi. You kind of start with the hands here. Okay, take the knee up close, strike, backing down. Good way of kind of controlling your arm position, so they're not flailing all around the place. Okay, so we can do it that way, or we can start in Gidanbarai and then make Jirachi freestyle. So again, this half hand my position. Keep your hands up, like karateka, hold the hands too low down. Okay, get knocked out by a boxer if you got into trouble. Okay, hands up. As you lift your knee, we start to swap the hands, thrust forward, backing down. Okay, so show your sideways on, nice and slowly, extending through the hip, turning the base foot as we kick, and in. Okay, so it's a Yokogeri Kokomi. Okay, I'll show you so you can see the back. It's important that we actually end up with this almost straight position from the sole of the foot right the way through the glutes and the back and driving through that heel. Okay? So we don't end up with this kind of curved position. It's one straight line. Okay? So Yokogeri Kokomi from Zenkutsudachi. Tend to see a lot of 4th and 5th cues when they're doing Kihon, Ippon, Kumite. They come here and they go Yokogeri, and then they kick and they automatically end up across here. Try to get back across to Zenkutsudachi. So from here, thrust, bring it back, turn the standing foot and back in, back to the shonen position. Okay, Yokogeri Kokomi. Obviously when we were doing next level up, we need to get back across. Thrust back in, then we can do the strikes and punches, which will come in video 5. So Yokogeri Kokomi, great exercise. Again with your stool, chair, side of your bed, lift the knee, thrust, get the knee up, keep it out, keep it up, bring it back and put it down. Up, out, back, down. Nothing else, so you'll kick the bed or the stool. Last technique, Mawashigeri, roundhouse kick. Okay, often now, competition, human basics, see people are delivering with the top of the foot. Traditionally, it would have been delivered with the ball of the foot. Shouldn't really do this, but yep, if you hit your toes on the wall, you're not doing it right. Okay, shouldn't do that, I've just decorated. Okay, but Mawashigeri, okay, again, can be delivered from here. Good way of controlling the arms. Was told it was a bit like a dog up against a tree. Lift the knee up, ankle the same height as I rotate. when the knee's pointing forward, snap, and then down. Mawashigeri, okay? Either to chudan or to jodan. Regardless of height, get the foot, the ankle and the knee the same height. Don't kind of have something dropping down, because then the kick tends to go up. We need the kick to be horizontal, not at a kind of an angle. It'll skid off an opponent, whereas you want to be kicking through an opponent, okay? Whether it be through the knees, through the head, through the waist, or wherever, okay? I'll say through, obviously in the dojo, the syllabus competition with control, touch control, okay? That's part of the art of karate, okay? We're not there just to knock lumps out of one another, however it might feel sometimes, okay? So again, Mawashigeri, this time from here, from Jiridachi, hands up. As we lift that knee, we rotate the hands, keeping the guard closed, okay? Here, then snap, and then down, and back into Zenkutsudachi, okay? Show you again with what used to be my favourite left leg. Hey, have you got a good side and a bad side? If you've got a good side, great. Work on your bad side. They should both be equal. That's what we need to do. We can't always guarantee that we're going to be attacked the same way around. Okay, so from here, again, the same principle, lifting, rotating, snap, and down. Mawashigeri. Sideways on. Okay, from here, again extending the hips. So not just Mawashigeri here, but push and strike in Mawashigeri. Obviously we'll develop this technique more as we progress through the next video, and obviously the higher video where we'll do multiple kicks. Okay, so Yokogeri and Kukomi, and now Mawashigeri from Zenkutsudachi. Okay, oh, in practice, use a target, use a pillow on a bed, use a spot on the wall. Be careful, don't hurt yourself, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Us.